Well, the misconception is that it's a multiple personality disorder. I had a classmate in college. We were talking about doing a research paper, and she brought up that, oh, I want to do it on people with multiple personality, like schizophrenics. And so there are many misconceptions when it comes to mental illness, and schizophrenia is not an exception. There are many things about schizophrenia that people say that are not true. And essentially, I wanted to go over one that really stuck with me. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about borderline personality disorder, because that does kind of tie in, as well as dissociative identity disorder. So who am I even? I am somebody with schizophrenia, or a psychotic condition that is on the schizophrenia spectrum, and I also have 2 anxiety disorders. Suffered with an addiction and an eating disorder at one point in my life, but that's behind me. Read the description. A couple years sober, going really good. So those eating disorders and anxiety disorders don't affect me as much as my schizophrenia does, because my schizophrenia really messes with the way that I perceive the world. And I think that a lot of people can benefit from learning a little bit more about schizophrenia. So what is it? Well, the misconception is that it's a multiple personality disorder. I had a classmate in college. We were talking about doing a research paper, and she brought up that, oh, I want to do it on people with multiple personality, like schizophrenics. And he doesn't know about my condition. I was just sitting there and be like, huh, interesting. I can make a video about that. So the misconception, like I said, is schizophrenia being multiple personality disorder. It's not. That is dissociative identity disorder. And on the topic of dissociative identity disorder, that is not the same as borderline personality disorder, because borderline personality disorder is a disorder of the personality, not identity, if that makes any sense. In DID, it's completely different. It's like a completely different person, whereas in borderline personality disorder is very different, where it's a disorder where a person has a strong feeling of attachment and a fear of abandonment, if that makes any sense. So, schizophrenia. Schizophrenia can have aspects of both of those. Sorry, there's a helicopter outside. But schizophrenia can have aspects both from the world of personality disorders and anxiety disorders, because they kind of come all together. In the world of personality disorders, you have a mind that is split. You have, in the sense that you have different personalities in yourself. In a similar way, the person who has schizophrenia, their mind is also split, but not in the way that creates multiple personalities. It's more split in the way that you start perceiving things, believing things, sensing things, external stimuli that isn't actually there. The word schizophrenia itself actually means a split mind. So, and it also takes aspects from anxiety disorders. There's paranoid delusions. Way back in the day, well, not way back in the day, before the DSM-5, I think the DSM-5 came out in 2013, I'm pretty sure. But before that, the DSM is a diagnostical statistical manual of mental health or mental illnesses. But before the 5th version, in DSM-4 and the previous 3 ones before it, schizophrenia was categorized into some categories, like paranoid schizophrenia, like catatonic schizophrenia. There's other ones, but now the DSM says that it's on a spectrum, which is interesting. But yeah, I mean, there are aspects of there's delusional schizophrenia to add to the other ones that I mentioned before. But regardless, there are big aspects of anxiety when it comes to schizophrenia, like how I said before, delusional, paranoid, schizophrenia, stuff like that. So you can take elements from anxiety disorders, you can take elements from personality disorders, and you can also take not inspiration, but you can take aspects from disorders like depressive disorders. What do I mean by that? Well, in schizophrenia, there are things known as negative symptoms. And negative symptoms are symptoms that take away something from you, as opposed to positive symptoms. Positive symptoms add things to you. For example, external stimuli that isn't actually there, or having thoughts, beliefs, strongly held beliefs that are not based in reality. But you also have negative symptoms, which are symptoms that take away things, like I said. What does that mean? Well, it means taking away the negating of happiness, the negating of motivation. So it's hard for people to feel happy, or people with schizophrenia to feel happy, and it's hard for people with schizophrenia to be able to get out of bed in the morning or brush their teeth, okay, take care of hygiene. And that those aspects all kind of tie in together with schizophrenia, because schizophrenia is a branch diagnosis. There are different kinds of schizophrenia. There's schizoaffective. Even when it comes to psychotic disorders, there's a wide variety of psychotic disorders. You have bipolar, you have psychotic depression, you have schizophrenia, schizoaffective, unspecified schizophrenia spectrum disorder, specified schizophrenia spectrum disorder. There's a lot of different categories, and they all mean slightly different things. And if you want me to talk more about each of the individual types of schizophrenia, I would love to. My therapist, well, not my therapist, a therapist from the past recommended that I read research up on my condition, and I downloaded a copy of the DSM, and that's how I know everything in here. And no, I am not a doctor, so do not take anything I say as 100% fact. This is just my experience from being alive and having this condition. So yeah. Hope you enjoyed watching. I know today was a little bit of a weird day. I'm stressed with college, really anxious, so I just figured that if I make a video, I'll be able to cope with it a little bit more. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ohoyo, malama pono. Thumbs so weird.